All right, so this is a homework question. It comes from section 2.7. It's number 2 in my math lab, I believe, for college algebra. The function f of x equals x plus 3. So yours may not have been that. I tried recording this earlier and my screen went crazy and it changed the problem to x plus 19. So it's probably going to be x plus or minus a number is my guess. And it talks about it being 1 to 1. So a function is 1 to 1 if it always increases, or I should say this. If a function always increases or always decreases, then it is 1 to 1. So we know from looking at this, we know that f of x plus 3, or f of x equals x plus 3, if we were to graph it, it's raised up 3 units, and it's the line that's at basically a 45-degree angle, right? That's f of x equals x plus 3. So that thing is always going up from left to right, always increasing. So it is 1 to 1. So that's very nice because we don't have to worry about then. Let me see if I can make this work here. Oh yeah, don't like that, but anyway. Then we don't need to worry about this one, or this one because it's going to work for all x. It's going to work for all x. So let's go back over here to note. Oh, I made it big. Hang on. There we go. So I'm going to try to leave it small, not right over there. I may click later when we get done. So right here, let me erase this now that we talked about being 1 to 1. I want some space here. So my function is f of x equals x plus 3. So what we're going to do then, we are going to, step 1, change f of x to y. Any 1 to 1 function has an inverse. That's the f to the minus 1. Right? We don't say f to the minus 1. We say this is f inverse. Right? So a function has that if it's 1 to 1. We don't have to worry about any restrictions about not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. None of that stuff. So the first thing we're going to do for step 1 is change this to y. So we're going to say y equals x plus 3. And then we'll get a new color here, this nice fuchsia color 2. We're going to swap x's and y's. All right, we're going to swap x's and y's. So for step 2, everywhere we have a y, we write an x. Everywhere we have an x, we have write a y. And if you have x squared minus x, you put y squared minus y. You change every x to y and every y to x. Our third step, we're doing this nice green here. So third step, we will say this here. Solve for what I'm going to call the new y. Why do I call it a new y? We know what the letter y is. Because, right, this wasn't y before, it was an x, right? So we're going to solve for that. Where's my undo? So if we solve for that, we want to solve for this. So we're going to move this plus 3. Or how do I move plus 3? I'm going to subtract it from both sides. It cancels over there. X minus 3 equals y. So that's my how do I get rid of that? I don't know. That's my step 3. And that's where the kind of the quote unquote the fun and the magic happens. You get most of the stuff there. And then the final step here we'll do in what, gray, I guess. We'll say this is going to be change or replace. Actually, I usually say replace. Replace the new y with f inverse, not f to the negative 1, f inverse of x. So basically we're changing it like we did the first thing. So the other thing we need to say here is if that thing equals y, then guess what? We get x minus 3 equals f inverse of x. But wait a minute. So step 4 is in gray. If something's equal, you could also write it this way. This is exactly the same thing. F inverse of x equals x minus 3. And so this is what goes into our answer box over here under answer choice D. I know I have C clicked right now, but it goes in there for answer choice D. And we're going to type in x minus 3. So let's see if this thing will work and not go completely bonkers on me. Let me make this small again. We're going to clicker. I don't know what just happened. We're going to click in here to D. We're going to type in x minus 3. And we got a good job. Great. So now the second part of this, which may be what this may have been all about, because you may have gotten that, those who ask. But then there may be some of them that got through this point and said, oh my goodness, what does this mean? Well, we're looking at this f of f inverse of x and f inverse of f. So now I'm going to, and I don't know what happened to my screen. It's just going bonkers. So let me make this small again, see if we can work with this. All right. So now let's flip the page. Where's my add a page? It's gone. Okay, hang on. Add a page. There we go. So we're still working with f of x equals x plus 3. And we also know, it's in gray I believe, f inverse of x was x minus 3. So we want to prove two things, not prove two things, we want to show two things, I guess to prove it. We want to say f of f inverse of x, and we want to see what that is. We also want to find f inverse of f of x. All right? We want to find those two things. So my rule for f here, we're going to rewrite this as f of whatever that is, and then that's going to be something plus 3, right? Here's my something we're plugging in, plus 3. And then the same thing for the gray. Let's go ahead and fill it in. What is f inverse of x? Well, look, here it is. We're going to take this x minus 3 and plug it in right here. So this is going to be x minus 3, and that's what get plugged in here, x minus 3. And we say, okay, well, what happens there? Well, this becomes x minus 3 plus 3, right? The parentheses doesn't change. It's going to cancel out, and we're going to get x. And it cancels because it goes to 0. And look, we were supposed to get x. I'm not going to do this, but if you look to the left, see part B, it says verify that your equation is correct by showing that f of f inverse of x equals x. That's what we just did. Then it says the word and. So we just did that. Red, insert the gray, ended up with the blue X down there. This is checked off. This is the first part before the and on the left. Now let's do the thing that's on the line by itself, f inverse of f of x. So let's do the other one. So let's take the gray. The rule for f inverse, we're going to say f inverse of whatever f of x is, and then that's going to be something minus 3. Well, hang on, let me pick my color. Come on. This is x plus 3 is my original function, so we plug that in here. And then we get x plus 3 minus 3. And again, those cancel and we get what? X. And guess what? It checks. And that's the and part over here. That's the and part. So I want to try to click on it and show you here. That's the and part. So when we look at part B, f of f inverse, that's this right here. That x minus 3 goes in that first blank. Then x goes underneath it. Then x plus 3 goes in the next blank to the right where it says and, in between the word and substitute. And then this x goes in the blank underneath it. So let's go fill those things in. Let's see if we can fill that in. So let's come over here. This f, this is going to be x minus 3. And this is going to be, is it not going to let me click on it? Hang on. It's in there. So x plus 3 for that one we said. And I hope I don't have these backwards. I'll go back before I click it. And then let's try this again. It's not working. I don't know why it won't let me click in it. But it's not. Look, it went back to that. So let's try this again. I was having this trouble before when it went bonkers. Well, let me click back in there. Y'all, I don't know what's going on. This board is frustrating right now because it's supposed to let me click inside here. Okay, it's in there. Good. X. All right. So now we just have one more to fill in here. This should also be X, but it didn't let me click in there. Let's go back here. Oh no, it's on this annotation thing. And we're inside the program. That's not good. I don't have it to get to. Let me try this again. Where's it at? Oh, it's just not there. Okay, let's try this again. Click in here. Is it going to let me get in there? No, come on. Let's try this one. So it's just not letting me do it, y'all. There should be an X right there. if I can get the X to go in there, and what I'll do is I think I'm going to close this program out, okay? I think I'm going to close the note program out. So I have the note program here. Let's go back to it. Let's go back to the note program. I should be putting an X in there. So I'm going to close this out. And I'm hoping that then this works inside the browser here. So let's make the browser big again. And we want to key an X in right here. I don't know why this is just maybe where it is on the screen. It doesn't seem to be working. Nothing seems to be working. Let's move it over some. Let's try this again. Whoa, what did I just do? Don't know. All right, so I hope that your computer does not give you these fits. But this is good. You're getting to see me frustrated too, right? Because I can't get it to click in here. I don't know what to try here. I don't know what to do at this point because I'm not in the program anymore. It's just not letting me click. Just hold it there for a second. Do you see anything? I don't want to cast, inspect, back, forward, reload. There it is. It's in there. It's in there. X. Okay. Oh, it's not in there. It didn't take it. It didn't take it. Where's the keyboard? Let's see if I can get the keyboard to pop up. There we go. Check answer. Good job. All right. So hopefully, I know it's a little frustrating to get through that. There it is. There's the answers that are keyed in there. And hopefully you see what we did for this one. All right, my apologies for all the technological issues I have there with the board. I may not need to record in here anymore. Let's go back in here and see if